and 13 years as an instructor from military jets to single pistons.
I chose the Europa because I wanted an aircraft that I could keep at home, but which I could use from local fields, but would take me over great distances at high speed. I've thoroughly enjoyed making it, and I found it relatively easy. The instructions are very good and very clear, and I've been able to follow those almost exactly, and if I have any problems, then I can reread the instructions or ring the factory. Building the aircraft has been interesting because I thought it would just be a question of working my way through it, but what I've found is that I've got far more out of it than that. I've actually enjoyed the building of it, and the quality of the bits has more than lived up to my expectations.
John's Europa is now finished and flying. His dream is now a reality. Currently, there are Europa builders in over 30 countries around the world, from Japan to Brazil, Sydney to Seattle. Whilst divided by oceans, one thing all builders have in common is their love of the Europa. Charles Bock was a chief test pilot on the Rockwell B-1 program. Retirement has given him time to fulfill his lifelong ambition of building his own aircraft.
I was very fortunate to have an exciting flying career, and you can't hardly finish up a career like that without having a desire to build your own airplane. It took me about 3 years to decide that the Europa was the kit I wanted to build. I think the kit supplied by Europa is a very good kit. The quality of the parts is high. The instruction manuals are clear. And if they aren't, if I don't quite understand something, the customer support has been excellent, outstanding.
Kim Prout was one of the first US builders and has found every aspect of the Europa a delight.
This is the kind of airplane that the more I fly it, the more I like it. It just grows on me. And when I turn the key on and take off, it's just a marvelous feeling to launch myself into the air and kind of the freedom and fashion that this airplane affords. I guess when I was building the kit, I didn't realize just what potential it had. And when I started flying it, I began to realize that, hey, this thing has some really long-range capabilities. It's a good cross-country machine, which we need in America. The distances are huge. Now it's just marvelous to think about traveling all the way across the United States, and I've done that twice. You know, it seems like every day is a special day when I roll it out of the workshop here. I throw open the door and push the airplane out and hook it up to my truck, take it off to the airport, and it's always fun. Even when I'm trailering it down the street, people are looking at it and wondering what it is, and I've had people follow me into the airport to find out what the heck this thing is.
Skip Pate is an airline pilot who has found he actually misses building his Europa.
I very much enjoyed building the airplane. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of almost sad now that it's gone. You look out in the garage where it gestated for so many weeks and months, and you kind of miss it. You can't help but think that here's this thing, and I built every inch of this, and you know when you move the stick that it moves the bell crank, that moves the push rod, that moves the aileron, and it makes the whole experience, it just puts you that much closer to it. If they'd pay me to fly the Europa, I would think I'd give the other up.
The Europa, a true touring aircraft. Enough space to carry 2 bicycles, plus baggage. Stall performance from an unprepared farm strip. Comfort for 2 in a spacious cockpit. A cruise of up to 200 miles per hour. A double silencer and 3-bladed prop means it's whisper quiet. In economy cruise with long-range tank option, 1,000 nautical miles is attainable. An aircraft to really set you free.
I began to realize just how much this airplane can do and the kind of adventure that it provides, the opportunities that are there. And now I don't think about just going from here to Sacramento, 300 or 400 miles. I think about going thousands of miles at a time. And it's just opened up a world of adventure that I had never dreamed of.
When I get my Europa done and it's ready to fly, I'm going to have the same feeling that I had when I started down the runway for the first flight of the B-1.
Flying is enjoyment, and if it gets to the point where you have to even think about the cost, it takes away from the enjoyment. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find an aircraft that you could operate on a more economical basis than you can the Europa.
I bring it back from flying on the trailer. I check the oil, check the systems, and there's virtually nothing to do. It's just been a turnkey operation.
Flying Europa is a very enjoyable experience. The cockpit is quiet, the controls are very sensitive. You lose track of the airplane and you feel a part of the airplane, and you get the essence of flying.
When they hand over their check for a Europa kit, that's just the start of a relationship. And you actually join an international family of Europa builders and flyers.
Those magical moments that are not in the book. The dream has become reality, as they say, but the reality is also a dream, and you just can't separate the two.